Prepare to have your mind blown out of the back of your pants. From Studio City, California, you're listening to The Second Column with Joe, Mike, Carlos, and Sean.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to The Second Column. We have the whole gang here, joined by Mike Constantini.
Hi.
All right, Mike Sean Kearney.
Hello.
And Carlos Jaime.
Hey.
I heard Mike Sean Kearney. Like that was...
Oh, I don't know.
That's why I paused. I thought there might be another person there who had my first name as their middle name and who was my brother but had Mike's first name.
I'm sorry to confuse you by using your name.
I should stop doing this with my eyes closed.
Yes, you should.
I would have known there was
Do it
only
again,
us.
Joe. Do it again.
Hello, we're joined here by Mike.
Hey, world.
We're joined here by Sean Kearney.
Hello, universe.
There we go. And Carlos Jaime.
Hi, planet.
All right. Very good. That was so much better than the first time. We're also joined by my brother Dan Donatelli, who is running sound effects tonight. Dan, thanks for coming out tonight.
Who?
Danny.
There he is.
Yep.
There he is. Danny is running the sound effects through. We have a real high tech setup here. He's running through my iPod, which is I think 3 years old. So it's one of those iPods that's the size of like a Tolstoy novel. You know, it's huge. Yeah.
So if you're listening, Apple, we'd
we can use an iPod.
yeah,
Man,
Apple.
That'd be very nice.
We'll get another mic too, so Danny can join in.
That would be
That's
nice.
part of the reason why he's doing sound effects tonight, because I don't have an extra mic.
But I think it'll be cool. It'll be fun. So we'll have Danny in there, and he could throw in his 2 cents. He's the Fred. If you were a Howard Stern fan, he's kind of the Fred.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah,
The
so
King of Mars.
Yes. We have a couple Martians in the room. There we go. There it is.
Just raped a woman. I think one of those
Expect a
Martians.
lot more of that tonight. All right, very good. Hey, guys, let me get into some reader mail here. This is cool. I have a letter here from a woman named Rebecca. Rebecca wrote to us from China.
No way.
Bullshit.
Listen
Really?
to this. Hi, Joe. I just heard from my sister Liz that you will be reposting our favorite column ever, the Kids Table Manifesto. And that's a column I wrote a few years ago for Thanksgiving.
Wow.
And I let some people know I was going to run it again. She writes, "Can I just say woo-hoo? It's great having your column back. Originally, I was reading you in the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette way back in like 2002. But I live in China now. My dear faithful little sister has been copying your columns into emails for me to enjoy because in China you can't read blogs.
Oh, yeah. They have like super censorship over there.
Yes.
Wow.
Strange, I know, but hey, that's China. I'd also like to tell you that I've been spreading your columns and podcasts around a little bit here in China. And you are starting to develop a little international fan base. I'll keep you updated. How cool is that?
Wow.
I think that's
I'm-
pretty badass.
Yeah.
I'm worried about her safety, though.
Well,
We can single-handedly bring down China with our podcast.
right. I don't think that's happening.
No, this is like, what was that movie with Christian Slater?
Oh, yeah.
Pump Up the
Pump
Volume.
up the volume. We
yeah.
could be those guys, only instead of... yeah.
Does someone shoot?
No, Danny just gave away the ending of the movie.
Oh, that's what it was. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. We could be we're the Happy Harry Hard-On of China.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm sorry, I just got shot.
Yeah, exactly. yeah. I don't know if Danny was going for China or for the movie reference there, but good.
Either way,
Good.
very apt.
Double use.
Well, you know, in
Very
China, there was that whole toy thing that was going on, right? What was it, Mattel, I guess?
They had to recall a
Yeah,
bunch
they had
of
to recall a
toys.
lot of
But
toys.
they executed the
guy who was in charge.
I know.
the guy that was
Wow.
in charge.
Well,
Really?
the guy that was really in charge killed himself.
because he was probably going to get
And
executed.
then there was a
Yes.
government official,
Yes.
I believe, who was taking bribes, and they executed him.
Yes,
Wow.
they did. They did.
We're coming at you live from today's
just-
China
They're
execution.
just shooting. They would have killed a billion Chinese people already.
I love how
I don't know.
we're openly talking down China.
It was a Japanese.
We're openly talking down China because we know there's no way that these people can hear this podcast right now,
Right.
Because it's banned,
Because it's
probably
banned.
as well as
So
the blog.
somebody, they have to, I don't know how they're getting it, but they're somehow
No.
That's
getting
crazy.
it. So,
Well,
yeah.
how could it be? I mean, they could get it through iTunes. I mean, you can have iTunes on a computer there. It
Yeah.
just has to be hooked up to the internet. And
Right.
Oh,
Yeah,
in that
so-
case,
yeah, so it's possible.
I love Chinese
Yeah.
government.
Well,
I think
maybe
it's
maybe Becky will write in and tell us how it works and how it's disseminated
Yeah,
because
it'd
we'd
be-
like to know. So
I just think that's really cool. That's our first real.
Well, we're now at Tokyo. We have a friend in Tokyo who's listening.
Yes.
I think he's been spreading the word, and now China
And Ohio, don't forget
Ohio, and I know Florida. So I think there's a couple different places.
This is how the avian bird flu virus is going to spread. Same thing that's going on with us. It's great.
Same results.
So there is a silver lining to this evil cloud of us spreading our podcast.
Yeah, it'll end in avian bird flu. Thanks. Good.
Still need to get big at Mexico.
Good. No, I like China. I like any country that gets mad about toys and shoots people.
Yeah, man. I feel like execution in general is one of those things that executing a serial killer, I don't think gets the message across because a serial killer is so fucked up anyways. He's not, another serial killer isn't going to watch one get executed and go, I'm not going to do this. But if you execute people for small, insignificant things, I think they'll stop doing what they do.
Yes, here's who needs to be executed. The people who, when you go to a Chinese restaurant, the people who copy edit those menus, because the grammar's always atrocious. If you notice this missing apostrophes, there's never, that happens a lot.
But I think, I think that's a good executionable offense.
Kill that guy.
Well,
you know, I agree with that.
I think it does happen. I think the Chinese people who live in the U.S. actually do execute their own little people or something like that.
That's very true.
That
could be true, and I think that's a smart thing to do. If you executed people who were douchebags because they watched the Olympics instead of real sports, you know, those people are like, I only watch the Olympics.
True.
If we executed one of them, all the rest of them would stop.
That is,
I can mark because you wouldn't want to do it. You go, it's not worth dying for.
Sean, what you're talking about is deterrence. You're talking about deterrence of
execution as a deterrent.
Yeah, which is what it's supposed to be. And what you're saying, and this makes a lot of sense, is as a deterrent to murder, it doesn't work. But as a deterrent to trivial, douchey things, it works
totally
great.
Works.
It would work totally great.
And I think it would be very smart. Like the guy, you know, it makes sense.
We all have things I'm sure that we think are totally douchey. Yours is watching Olympics. I think it's douchey too. It's dumb. It's
not watching it, but bragging about
or bragging about watching it is definitely douchey.
It's douchey.
That was
I think we should. Execute. Well, threaten to execute Mayor Virtuosa because
our esteemed mayor.
He is our esteemed mayor. Because I really don't think he's done anything to solve the traffic problems. And whenever I sit in traffic now in Los Angeles, I always get really mad at Mayor Virtuosa.
Okay,
I always yell at
here's
him.
who we assassinate. All right, and you're going to agree with me.
Not assassinate. Execute him so that the next mayor will learn from that and do something about the traffic.
First of all, I don't have any real problem there. Danny just executed him.
That's another execution.
All right, here's who I take a shot at. I don't want to kill Mayor Villagrosa.
Well,
no, here's who needs a shot. Whenever you're driving on the freeway in LA and they turn on the signs that tell you like what the traffic is, everyone slows down no matter what the message is. So it could say 5 minutes to Route 101, and traffic backs up for 5 miles.
That's
and,
what
and
my argument has been.
and causes traffic. So like the person whose job it is to type in that text, that's the
execute him.
Yeah,
execute because the next guy won't do it
Won't
because
do
it's
it.
not worth dying for.
He's not coming to work.
But if you're a serial killer, you're not running that through your brain. It probably is worth dying for you.
Serial killers is all about not getting caught, and it's about playing with the police and letting them know.
The guy who types in those signs, he's not worried about getting caught because it's not about that
game.
for him.
It's a game.
Yeah.
He's sitting there like, how much can I back up traffic? How much can I screw with Joe? You know, I know what he's thinking.
You'll never like stop serial killers. Like no matter what you do, they're gonna be serial killers.
But we can stop douchiness.
But we can stop douchiness.
We can stop douchiness in its tracks.
So
Carlos, do you have a douche? Is there something douchey that people do that you don't like?
Well, let's see.
Carlos,
I don't like these guys who wear like those skater guys or whatever that they wear like the hat, like kind of like gangster thug or whatever.
Yeah, thug skateboarders. Thug skateboarders.
Doesn't go. Yes, doesn't go together.
One execution and they're in the library for the next 6 years.
And they got the tattoos all over the place.
Stupid tattoos.
Like,
all right,
execute anyone with a tattoo.
That's douchey behavior too.
Exactly.
Sean, I think if I was running a campaign right now, I'd be running on that.
I think it's a good plan.
I got a milkshake, a strawberry shake at Baskin Robbins, and I got food poisoning from it.
Ooh.
And I thought everybody should have been executed. As I was sitting on the toilet, I felt like these people should all be. That was the sounds of me on the toilet.
You know, if you lived in China like our good friend Becky, somebody would die.
Yeah, they would have died.
You got to bet, man. There's never going to be any more.
Is that still
There's
him?
never going to be any more mercury or whatever it was in those toys.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
The toys will be lead free.
They made their point.
No, once you shoot, those toys will actually take lead out of your home now.
Yes.
Yeah.
They will have
robot-
alarms, lead alarms.
Exactly.
That will detect lead like 5 feet away.
Right.
Wow.
Your Tickle Me Elmo? Nuh-uh. De-asbestos your house Elmo is the new Elmo.
I think every toy in China now is just a giant round ball.
made of wood.
Wow.
It's very soft. It's made of rubber, so you can't hurt you. There's no way
Right.
that anything can go wrong with a
Right.
round ball
It can still
until the
pop.
guy trips on it.
It could still pop though.
Right.
It's all right if it pops as long as the kid doesn't eat it afterwards
Right.
and then die.
But what if
Sounds
there's
like-
something air in there? I don't know.
No. Well, I think what Sean's trying to say is
Like a fart smell.
it's gonna hurt. What's that? Innovation.
Yeah,
in
just
the-
a
in the
little
toy
bit.
Field.
All right.
Like it's like when you watch an old timey Christmas show and the kids open up a present and there's like 3 possible things that a kid in the 1860s could open up for a present. It's like
The ball that goes in the thing.
Yeah, ball that goes in cup. Ball without cup.
Ball without cup, and then cup
and a
without
gun.
ball.
Cup without ball. Yeah, exactly.
and a gun.
No, you never know be a gun. But no, come
Yeah,
on.
back in those old days, they would put
No,
guns
not
in
for
those
Christmas.
kids.
Not
No.
that you just got one when you were born. When you were in the old
Oh
days.
yeah.
They just handed you something.
So I'm just there. We go.
There we
All
go.
right, there we
Wow.
go.
Yep.
So, there we go. All right, cool guys.
Handy.
So I got a column this week. It's a pretty fun one. As always, you guys are invited to jump in, and we'll see where the conversation goes. Don't have to finish the column. We just want to get it started and see where it leads us and what kind of avenues we can go down. So
All right.
this week's column is called Fun with Research.
Cool.
Okay, here we go.
Awesome.
And it's a little bit of like an inside baseball look at the column. So it kind of says some stuff about how I write and do research and things like that. And you guys feel free to jump in, and here we go. Every week I bookmark dozens of articles that I consider column-worthy. From those bookmarks, I narrow my choices down to one topic. You have seen the end results in columns such as The War on Drugs is Being Fought in Your Toilet, Deloitte and Touche and Women, and Robots Cannot Love. Obviously, I can't use every article, and obviously, I don't want to waste the time I spend researching either. So this week I thought I'd share 10 of the hundreds of stories that I have bookmarked since July that will never be featured as columns.
Awesome.
We'll call it the first ever Joe Donatelli aborted column spectacular.
Oh boy.
No, wait. The
First time.
the word first ever.
Oh.
No, wait. The word aborted is kind of grim. It makes me think of military airstrikes that were called off at the last moment, and that's just sad. Poor little airstrikes never had a chance. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, instead, I'm going to call it the first ever Joe Donatelli cavalcade of dead baby columns.
Oh.
Yeah.
I could see that.
Do you guys
It's
like
the
one better?
cavalcade,
Do you guys
'cause-
which one do you guys like better? Do you like
I-
aborted column
I like
spectacular
cavalcade.
or cavalcade of dead baby columns?
Because cavalcade just has that. It sounds triumphant.
It does.
You know.
It does. I think of a Roman over a mountain.
I kind of like to think of it as like a nice vegetable melody of your columns, and the Jolly Green Giant just comes and like mixes it all together.
It is, but they're dead.
Yeah.
These are the babies that
Are
didn't
these
make it.
your babies?
These are my babies that didn't make it.
Oh, good.
But
thing
it's-
they're
babies.
dead.
Mixing dead things together to bring life. I find something good in that. Something kind of hippie and
My column this week
whatever.
is a compost heap of joy.
exactly something like that.
Yeah.
That's what I think about your abortions.
So these are all your
Thank
columns. Wow.
Oh no!
We have some women that are
That
responding.
was,
to
you
the
can actually
podcast.
hear one of my columns being aborted. That's what it sounds
Oh,
like. Oh,
man.
very sad. All right, here we go. In an article entitled "Binge Drinkers Prefer Beer," that's a real article title. Bloomberg News reports that 3/4 of binge drinkers prefer beer over other types of alcohol. I thought this made sense. It's hard to binge on vodka. You'll, what's the word?
Die.
That's Sean Kearney jumping in. It's like
Wow.
you are on. That's amazing. This is
How
what
about-
happens when you do improv with somebody for 49 shows.
mind meld.
Or tonight, 50
50.
shows.
That's our big 5-0.
Yeah, later
Yep.
tonight, we're going to be performing our 50th improv show as the group Pangea.
Yep.
So.
That means I probably spent like $300.
Yes, Carlos has seen probably 48 of those shows. So
Wow.
It's one of those things that you don't realize you have a problem until you look at all the
Wow.
empty bottles of alcohol
In
from
your-
that one
yeah.
semester.
Look at your ticket stubs to West Side
I
Eclectic,
have
a
Gardner
drinking
Stages. Yeah, you've got a problem, buddy.
Oh, brother.
So, Sean, way to jump. I'm impressed. I'm thoroughly impressed. All right. Another beer-related story that I found on foxnews.com brought my long-awaited dream of a merger between Keystone Ice and Gold's Gym one step closer to reality. Spanish researchers have found that beer after exercise may be better than water. Don't laugh at this. Spanish-funded research is the reason America was discovered. When the Spanish research something, you can bet it will eventually establish a constitutional rule of law based on individual rights, carry the world economically, and produce the only movies worth watching. Jogging and drinking will put a man on Mars by 2050.
Yeah, I would agree with that, because after you work out, you're all tired and everything. I mean, you have a couple beers and you relax and, sit down and watch TV.
It said, the article said it replaces your fluids better than water does in a more efficient way.
That is true, because I had a trainer and he told me that one time, like anytime you're done with your training or whatever, like I guess your exercise for 15 minutes or something, you have to drink like something like salty.
Yeah. Well, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Why is that though? What's the whole?
You want to replace
because you lose. When you're sweating, and you taste the sweat.
You know what? I wish was here. I think my brother Tom and his friend Frank used to work out and drink beer at the same time.
That's awesome.
Danny, did you ever hear that? I think.
That would actually probably make you drunker faster.
There's something hilarious about getting stronger and drunker at the same time.
Because your blood is pumping.
Sure,
you're getting the alcohol through your system.
You might get a better buzz off that. So we'll have to.
If you're ever on an antibiotic, you should work out and get the antibiotic through your system really fast.
By the way, I just totally narked out Tom because I think my parents listened to this, but I think he was 21. I don't know. Anyway, okay.
It was like yesterday.
Yeah. How old was he?
Yeah, he was. Don't tell Liz. It was yesterday.
Oh my gosh.
Sometimes I see articles that work well in combination together. Here are two fun ones. A story on the Voice of America website says that older Americans are staying sexually active. The story claims that 26% of people between the ages of 75 and 85 are having sex. 26% between 75 and 85 are having sex. Okay.
I can see that.
Then I found a USA Today blog that says a seventh of elderly Americans suffered from dementia. Now I have to wonder, what percentage of that 26% that is claiming to have sex is also suffering from dementia? It's not sex if you're walking around the Benetton with no pants on, Grandpa. It may be a fucking good time. It may be something we should all do once in our lives, but it ain't sex.
Yeah, I was thinking if they've got dementia, they're having sex more because they think they're having sex with someone else.
Yes, there's
someone younger.
That's what I thought. They're reporting sex that's not actually happening.
No, I think that it's real sex that's happening, but the woman they're having sex with, they really think is, Angelina Jolie.
I see.
Because if you're 75 and you can't get it up, and and Angelina Jolie walks in, it's like all
Mike's
problems
pointing.
solved.
I would like to
Mike is
point
pointing.
out.
By the way, for the first time tonight, Mike is pointing.
Yeah.
We'll point this out.
Elderly sex to get him up.
I think that Sean just pointed out the first positive attribute to dementia.
I agree completely.
Yeah.
Like that's the kind of dementia I'd like to get on board with.
Actually,
Definitely.
my theory is that I think back in the old days, I think dry humping was considered sex to these old people now. They probably just do that.
Oh, so they're calling anything sex.
So yeah, they're basically like if you touch the
could be.
penis, I think they just call
If
it
you
sex.
touch the
okay.
penis, it's sex.
It's sex.
All right. Well,
Unless
it could be.
They don't do fellatio.
It could-
old.
Do you want to be the person that interviews these elderly
I
people
know.
and
I
has to have them define sex?
Yeah,
I
that's
do.
So what
nasty.
type of sex, to Grandma Jones?
I think their kids were accidents probably.
Right. If
Like they just,
yeah, I'm with you, Dan. That's not the.
And that's them just being hurt probably.
It's old people. I don't know. It's. I mean,
But it does give me hope because I
Right.
do think sometimes like there's going to be a point where I'm not going to have sex anymore.
Right.
And
there's-
knowing that I might die before that
I-
point brings me comfort.
I feel like that's when I might peak. Like that's
Yeah.
gonna be my time. Because
Wow.
that's when I think I might want to die.
like what's what I'm building towards. Like
Really?
what if that was your sweet spot? What if we all get a 10-year sweet spot and yours comes between 75 and 85? What are you gonna say? No.
I just think there's
Well, I
a
don't
point.
know.
There's a point in that marriage, though, or marriage in general, like where people just get tired of having sex. You've done
But
it
if you're
so many.
between 75 and 85, you've done it a billion times.
Yeah, and it's like how
No.
new can it be?
Yeah,
You've tried every
maybe.
different
Well, that's the thing.
position.
Like, but if you're that experienced, maybe they're finding new shit.
Or maybe it's that dementia, and so it's like they're having the same old sex, but in their
Right.
mind it's like
I-
we're in the middle of a park. and
I
it's
had sex with Theodore Roosevelt.
Yeah.
He walked small and carried a big stick. He did. That
Do you
For
kind
those of you in China listening, we had a show called Married with Children out here, which is a very popular show.
It's probably on
the
in
Fox
China right
network.
now. Yeah.
It might be. Yeah, look for it in reruns. But that was the whole premise. Al Bundy was tired of having sex with his wife.
Do you
And it was
think-
like a task.
Do you think old people do anal sex?
I don't know. Thank you, Dan.
Okay. One thing I have to
Yeah.
say about Married with Children in China, though, is if they won't let Joe's column in China, do you really think
they'll
they've
let
got Married
Al
with
Bundy.
Children?
Good question. Good question. All right. Okay. Here's a story that comes out at least once every 6 months. In an article entitled "Film Smoking Sways Teens," The Hollywood Reporter reports on a new study that claims to link smoking on film and teenage tobacco use. No way. First of all, I see way more kids smoking in real life than I see characters smoking in movies. Second of all, if this was true, film would influence other social behaviors as well. As a child, I watched American Ninja at least a dozen times, and at no point did I ever wait silently in a ceiling rafter, only to descend upon my enemy, slit his throat, throw a smoke bomb, and disappear into a cool mountain mist in further search of the man who murdered my sensei. Did I want to? Yeah, I did. Did I act on that impulse? No, I did not.
Looking at you, I don't think you even could.
Yeah, I don't think I could hide up in like put my hands on two walls and my
No.
feet against the corner of a room and
No.
hold myself up for 3 hours.
No.
I have a lot of discipline.
Maybe,
I agree, though. There's that whole thing. Like the Clintons, they wanted to ban Grand Theft Auto from being out there because they thought it was influencing kids.
I'm sure Sean saw this study. The crime has actually gone down amongst kids since the
Yeah.
violent video
Yeah,
games
because
come out.
they're taking it out on the TV, like in
Exactly.
make-believe land. Instead of, and it's more time just like, doing it at home rather than going out and, beating up other
Couldn't
kids.
agree more. So they might be getting their smoking out by watching smoking on TV or movies.
But that was Bill Clinton that
Yeah,
wanted
no,
to do
I
that.
I think it was actually Hillary.
It was Hillary.
Hillary came
Yeah.
and she's still
Hillary,
still
Bill,
fighting
same
for
thing.
that.
Yeah, they're the same person.
But I must admit though, with the video games influencing the kids, I wonder with other types of video games. There, I play The Sims a lot, but I haven't really wanted to micromanage a family lately.
right.
yeah.
So
Yeah, no, you're exactly right.
It's,
I played a lot of
interesting.
Super Mario Brothers. I've never once jumped down a pipe I saw on a street.
exactly,
Like if I see a flower growing, I will not eat it in hopes of throwing a fireball.
yeah, I don't jump on turtles.
Right. If I touch a star, I don't run into things because I can defeat it.
If I see a stereotypical Italian man, I don't jump on him for being a Goomba.
If there's a guy dressed like me who's in all green, I don't know him.
Yep.
He's not my brother.
I did play a game called Viva Pinata once, and I
I've heard
did
that game.
want to go out and actually slaughter pinatas.
But that game's, for the record, that game's not about slaughtering pinatas. It's actually about building a garden filled with pinatas.
yeah, and it was
Yes,
just
it
so
is.
annoying. I got mad at
That sounds
pinatas.
gay.
in
So
general.
well, this is funny because it actually leads into the next thing I wrote about. So good segue.
That sounded gay.
We're gonna keep the video game thing rolling.
Great.
Sometimes I grab a story just for the headline. I can't resist any article with a title like "Pac-Man finds next level of fear research." The Nobel Prize for totally fucked up research goes to the Wellcome Trust Center. And I need to explain this. Wellcome Trust Center is spelled WELLCOME.
That's just atrocious.
Wellcome Trust Center for Neuroimaging at the University College of London, which modified a version of Pac-Man to deliver electric shocks to people to see how they react to danger. I have two questions. Number one, do you think the Wellcome Trust Center, now remember how I spelled it, is located in London's historic Thank You, THNNKYOOU. You have to see the joke, I guess. Thank you, district.
I get it.
All right, and then my second question is why Pac-Man? Pac-Man is one of the only non-violent video games that people love. If the Wellcome Trust Center wanted to instill fear in people, and I think it's hilarious that anything called the Wellcome Trust Center wants to instill fear in people, it should have forced players to spend more than 5 minutes playing E.T. on the Atari 2600.
Oh my god.
Ooh.
I would claw a man's skin inside out and build a ladder out of his blood-wet bones to get the hell away from that game.
Do you know the story behind E.T.?
I do.
I know every copy was returned to Atari.
And it was the video game crash of 1983. The
Yeah.
industry almost fell on its ass
yeah.
because
And-
there's a landfill in New Mexico that is filled with ET cartridges.
This game was so bad, you would just be walking along and you would fall into a hole. And to get out of the hole, you have to make your neck go up as E.T., and it would take like 5 minutes. And then at the exact moment you got to the top of the screen, you had to like hit a button, and if you missed it, you sank back down to the bottom and had to start over again. It was the most infuriating
How was it
game.
ever released?
They
I don't get how
They
released
spent a
it-
lot of money for it to get the license from Spielberg, and then I believe they spent 3 weeks on the game because they had spent all their time
Yeah.
getting the rights, and finally they got the rights, and they didn't really have a budget for it because all
Yep.
their money had been getting these rights, and so they threw like a couple guys together and said, the movie comes out, we're not gonna be able to move any copies once this movie's
They
out.
should have made it like a 2D Contra shooter game, or at least. Or
No,
something.
this was
I mean,
early Atari, like super early,
Yeah.
and the game quality was like you walked around. I mean, I played it. Did you play it, Sean, or you just know about it?
I've played it on an emulator on a computer.
Yeah, it's just awful.
Painful.
The game is just awful, and you're right. It looks like they did it in 2 minutes. It looks like, I don't know if you ever did this. I did this in the 8th grade. Like if you have a class where you build your own video game on a computer, and basically the game is just you walk around a maze or something. Like we did this at my
Yeah, or
school.
like storybook games.
Yeah,
where-
like real.
I
simple
went to a
games.
video game college, so our,
you
our
know.
make your own video games were pretty elaborate.
Pretty real, yeah, exactly. Yeah, we're actually living in one of Sean's make your own video
Yeah,
games right
exactly.
now.
They should have made it like Duck Hunt or something. Maybe
That would have been cool too.
Yeah.
And
Well, it actually single-handedly destroyed the industry until the Nintendo
Nintendo,
came out.
yeah.
Until
Yeah.
Before
Yeah.
Nintendo nobody wanted to
Yep.
release the Nintendo because they were like, no, nobody likes video games after ET.
Absolutely. So there you go.
So I like that. I like the nerd, and I like
I
the
threw it
nerd
in
in
there,
you that
buddy.
you played it.
I nerded it up.
Lol.
All right.
Yes.
Okay. Here are 2 more stories that belong together.
Video games? Video?
Now, in a story called "A First for the FCC: Fining Fake News," PRWatch.org reports that the Federal Communications Commission is fining broadcasters that air video news releases without disclosing that they're not actually news. So that's like those news segments that Channel 5 or Channel 7 will air, and it's like some breakthrough in the pharmaceutical industry, but they don't tell you it was made by like Pfizer or something like that.
Oh,
So it's
yeah.
that kind of news. Meanwhile, FEMA held a quote-unquote news conference during the wildfires in California in which FEMA staffers posed as real reporters. So, I have to ask, will the FCC be fining FEMA? Also, can someone please tend to the lump of gray matter that now rests in front of my laptop? I was just thinking about how these are the same people who are responsible for the fact that I have to pay $12 a month to hear Howard Stern, and my head exploded. Please put what is left of my brain back on top of my neck. Thank you.
I think I think it's very funny when Playboy magazine does a better job of distinguishing advertising
Yeah.
from real
Yeah.
because at least Playboy
advertorial. all the
yeah
time.
has the advertorial
Yep.
and ABC News can't
No, they don't do that.
No.
Yeah, exactly. That fake news it's stupid. And if you watch the news closely enough, because I'm a reporter and journalist, and I do, you can tell when the news is just like they'll package a news story, and then the local broadcaster will just do the voiceover, like a startling breakthrough in the world of electric cars, and then it's a 3-minute segment on like the new Ford electric car,
And that's it.
and it's with the local broadcaster's voiceover. It's stunningly.
So it's like a commercial within the.
Yeah, it's exactly
Yeah.
what it is. So, all
I
right.
feel like we're missing something in local news because we live in LA
Ooh,
and
yes.
it's such a big market. Like I've never really seen, I guess once or twice I've seen Wisconsin, like Green Bay local news.
Yeah.
I want to see like, what did you have in
What-
Ohio?
What you're missing is local news is a big deal outside of major cities. Like your local newscasters are like public personalities.
Right.
Like if you have a parish festival, like my church back in Cleveland did. Like if the local Channel 5 guy came to your thing, it was a big deal. It was huge. It was like Ted Henry was here. You know?
But the irony is out here they
Wilma
just
Smith.
pull in so much money. Like it's
Yeah.
a huge thing.
Yes.
But yeah, we don't care.
Nobody cares. Nobody watches them. Yeah, the only people
Yeah.
who watch are like the local city officials. They're the only
Yeah.
ones who care because their jobs are on the line and they like the publicity. But yeah, in Cleveland, it's a big deal.
And if you're Viragosa, you want to date him, right?
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, our mayor. Wow, he's all over the podcast today, isn't
Yeah,
he?
I know.
Our mayor.
Very
He's a
Viragosa.
saucy one.
He needs
Yes.
to fix traffic.
Oh,
Oh, there we go.
Jesus.
All right, here we go. Again, here's one that it's funnier on paper, but I'll explain it. I love this story. Pentagon confirms it sought to build a gay bomb. Have you guys heard this story?
What is that?
It's great.
What is that?
It's great. They the Pentagon admitted that they did research and they funded the Air Force and gave them money to build a bomb that when dropped on an enemy battlefield, it would disperse in ecstasy like air. Like what do you call that? Like when something is dispersed to the air, like aerial.
Like an outbreak?
Yeah,
Yeah.
basically like an outbreak. So like a
Like
chemical
laughing
weapon,
gas or
a chemical weapon basically
Laughing gas.
of ecstasy, so that the soldiers would all want to bang each other.
What would be the
Well-
point? Just to kind of distract them?
To distract them. They would be so sexually turned on to each other, they put their guns down and put their guns
That,
up.
how would you not write about that? That's brilliant.
It is pretty funny.
Like of all the government things I've heard
That's
about,
like-
that's got to be one of the.
yeah, it is pretty funny.
That's kind of like one of those. That's like almost. That's almost like a gimmick kind of like bomb. Kind of.
I know.
Yeah, it's like
Well,
it's like
well,
X-ray vision or
That's
something.
the worst. That's the worst job in the Air Force. Is like, what do you do? I drop the gay bomb.
I go gay bomb.
Tex Harrison, what do you do? I drop.
Can you visually imagine what that would look like though, like in a battle?
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I think I went to the gay bomb when I was in the French Quarter last year.
Nice.
Actually,
So
that
I
was
do know what it would look like.
that was actually going to be Airplane 3.
When that bomb drops, like while it's whistling through the air, you hear you drop the bomb on me, baby.
It'd be horrible though,
Drop
like
the
if
bomb on me.
Right.
if they accidentally dropped it at like a Super Bowl or something, or in the wrong.
Are
place.
you kidding me?
Yeah,
Mike,
that would be one.
Mike, let me read you the next line of my column.
Oh no!
It's true. It was tested once on February 5th, 2006 in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. On the day the Steelers won the Super Bowl, it was a complete success. And I provided a link to Pittsburgh's Gay Pride Parade. So there you go.
Is that real?
No, that wasn't really tested.
Oh.
I have a lot of friends from Pittsburgh, and I was just giving them.
Well, is
Giving
it?
them poop.
Does Pittsburgh have a gay parade?
Yeah, I think
every town
Every
probably
town
does.
does.
Okay.
It's not just West Hollywood, Carlos. You can't have the
Maybe
gay
not.
parade all to
I don't
yourself.
know. You never
Maybe not
know.
in like some small town in Kansas.
Yeah,
you
I'm
know,
sure.
but-
Every decent-sized city has some kind of gay parade.
Yeah.
So anyway, I made a Super Bowl joke in there, and that's really funny that you said that. So
Well, I guess they don't have to change.
we got a group mind going on here.
Mhm.
Not you, Carlos.
Carlos is
Sean,
all
Mike, and
out,
I
yeah.
are connected in a way that is spiritual and magical
No.
and a little bit sexual.
But you
Yeah.
you do hear about like when bombs are dropped in the wrong location,
Yes.
and, like all these civilians get killed. Can you imagine? Like,
I like how if a bomb, if a conventional bomb is dropped, people die. That's a terrible thing.
Yeah.
But you're saying that that might be bad. But what's even worse is if a bomb that makes people
Yeah.
fuck each other
Yeah.
is dropped.
If a bomb that made people love and have sex was
Yeah.
oh, the horror.
That's like a gay porn. That's like it's like one of those things.
That
where-
is a premise for a gay
Yeah, it's
porn
like a-
movie. I agree
it's like-
completely.
It's like,
gay
dude, you
bomb.
dropped
a
bomb.
bunch of soldiers out in the front, and,
Yeah.
and then the bomb falls. And, yeah,
It's like you
Carlos,
Yeah.
dude, write that shit.
I will.
We are 8 miles from Chatsworth.
Hey, you know what?
we
the,
can do that.
You know what the name of the plane is going to be?
The Enola Gay.
Enola Gay.
I'm very proud of you. All right, Carlos, we have achieved perfect group mind. We have achieved perfect synthesis. Okay, here is it's the last one. According to Great Britain's Telegraph, Italy's biggest business is the mafia. Did anybody else see this story? Italy's biggest. I felt
That's
like Jay Leno when I said, "Anybody else see this story?" I got this story about mafia.
it seems odd to me because I thought most of the
You would think it would be like I don't
Olive
know.
Garden.
the mafia was like mostly up
You
in
son
the
of a
northern. No, but they're like in the northern parts of Italy. It's
No.
not like the whole.
Now Sicily.
Monetarily, their biggest business is the black market that is provided by the mafia.
Should we
They're
be
probably
talking
because
about-
they're all getting residuals from the Godfather films.
Possibly. So,
Two specifically.
my point with this piece was just to say, with this item was say, some countries should just be forced to start over. Here are 5 signs your country has failed completely and needs to file for the UN equivalent of Chapter 11. Number 1, you were on the losing side of more than 3 wars in the last 100 years. You lose 3 wars in 100 years, you should probably do over. And I think Italy lost 2, so they're looking. There's a couple. I think the U.S. is 1. I don't know how do you cut 1 or 2. So, there's a couple good countries that could get rattled by
Yeah.
that. Number 2, you have failed to produce a decent automobile.
Sure.
If you can't make a car,
I thought like
Yeah,
I
it's
thought
fair
Ferrari or whatever.
yeah. So they meant I think
Alfa Romeo?
Ferrari might be I don't know if it's still owned by. I think it is still Italian.
But
But anyway,
Romeo, I think.
Yeah. So these are just qualifications. You can't break Sean's favorite thing. You can't break double-digit medals at the Summer Olympics. If you can't
Yeah.
get double-digit medals at the Summer
No.
Olympics, there's probably something wrong with your country.
Especially now that's so convoluted. There's so many games being played.
Oh yeah, there's
Come on.
hundreds. Yeah,
Like
You can't.
checkers.
yeah.
Yeah, anything.
Checkers.
Anything makes the Olympics
Olympic
these
checkers.
days,
Olympic dementia swimming.
Yeah, there's got to be
Screaming.
Dementia. Yeah.
Some
exactly.
kid right now just invented some stupid game with a handball in his
Right.
garage, and it's going to
Really?
be an Olympic game next year.
I'm pulling
probably.
for Olympic cornhole. Do you guys know what cornhole is?
Really?
Yeah,
It's like
horseshoes
washerboard. It's like
or-
washerboards. Yeah, that would be
Yeah.
great. I would watch. I would watch that. I really would.
That wouldn't be at the Olympics. I believe it would be, and this is something I've been ragging Joe on a lot lately, that would be at the Buffett games.
Oh, come on. The Buffett games. I thought you were going to say Pan Am or Goodwill games. I've been catching a lot of grief lately because I'm a Jimmy Buffett fan. What was the name of the song you came up with the other night in rehearsal?
It was something along the lines of, let's just drink a beer and relax.
It was, let's just drink some beer and have a good time.
Yeah.
Like, that's the next Jimmy Buffett song.
That's a good motto.
You son of a bitch. Just because you like good artists like Neil Young and Bruce Springsteen, who I can't make fun of.
He never sang a Pina Colada song, right?
No, that was not Jimmy Buffett.
Yes.
Jimmy Buffett did not sing.
Even he has
Sean,
standards.
how old are you?
I'm 23.
Yeah,
What?
and you just went to a Bruce Springsteen concert. You went to a Neil Young concert.
Yeah, Sean is a
Really?
worldly man.
I think that's very cool. Like, I
Yeah.
just think it shows you that music,
Yep.
how it can span the ages.
And it's good music, too.
Yeah.
I like the music you just
That's
heard.
that's awesome.
Yeah, that is really good. That's
What
really good.
was your favorite band growing up, though?
Man, when I was a kid, I loved the Stone Temple Pilots.
That's a good
Wow,
band.
that's
But I
good.
still dig them. You know, their last two records weren't that great.
I've
but
seen
they've-
Danny's seen them live.
I've seen them twice. I saw
It's a
them with the
good
Chili
band. It's a good
Peppers,
show.
and I saw them just by themselves. And
You don't
yeah,
li-
they're a sweet band.
You don't like NSYNC or something?
No, I was
No,
never into
he's not
that.
gonna like NSYNC.
I was into grunge growing up,
Grunge.
and then I kind of went backwards the older I got.
Yeah.
Right.
So
That's good. That's mature. That's
I'll be
mature.
listening to music from the 30s by the time I'm
Yeah,
45.
Yeah, it was a good time.
Yeah, you know who you're gonna like is the jazz singer.
Yeah.
You're gonna like Al Jolson.
Jolson.
It's like, yeah, I know what you guys listen to
Glenn
is cool,
Miller.
but you got to listen to some
Yeah.
of this vintage
How did-
Jolson.
How did Sean go to an Al Jolson concert
don't
last
know.
week? That's so effed up.
Oh, mammy.
I think he has a time.
This band is from heaven.
Oh, mammy.
Wait, I want to hear Mike sing some more.
Yeah, maybe that was
Mike,
like-
sing
Sing
another song.
Yeah.
Sing a song that didn't exist from that era but should have. Like just a song from the top of your head that like, here's a song that should have been in the 1930s. Like anything, just off the top of your head.
I don't know.
Just you know.
think of it.
You know.
We're at the ticker tape parade. Hey, it's another ticker tape parade.
That sounds so racist.
No, he said ticker tape. That's not.
It sounds like
about ticker tape?
he's tired of the ticker tape parade too. Just
That's-
another ticker
Just
tape
another ticker
parade.
tape. We've won another war here at the
Oh,
ticker tape
right.
parade.
It took a lot of shit for granted back then.
Wow.
Exactly. They're running out of ticker tape in Macon, Georgia. Oh man. Mike, that's a good song. You need to write
I like
that,
that.
shit. You
Yeah.
write the hey, Carlos, you write the porn movie, the gay porn. Mike,
Yeah.
you write that song.
The ticker tape song.
The ticker
And
tape
I'll get on the
parade.
executing people.
Maybe we'll
Please,
have a
Sean.
ticker tape parade.
Very
someday.
good, very good. Okay, almost done. Here, let's wrap this up. Number 4, there are more people of your nation's descent in New York City than in your capital, which is like Rome and Dublin.
Yeah, that's true.
That's a lot.
And number 5, the Bill Gates of your country started his career by leaning against a street corner lamppost, flipping a coin.
What? Where are the countries?
Or the
Yeah.
revolutionary
Right,
of your country
right.
started leaning up
Right.
against it.
It's probably so long ago, but the biggest business was the mafia. So I thought of like, the typical mafia stereotype of the guy flipping the coin. So anyway, I don't know how that joke went
I
over.
don't know.
All right, the last one could go on for a whole column. Let's have some fun with this. Hey, listeners and readers, send me your qualifications for when a country should be forced to start over. If we get enough and they're really good, I'll write a column about it and give you guys credit. So let's see if we can come up with 20, and I'll pen a whole column. I think we could do it. I got 5 already.
Yeah.
If you don't do this, you will have killed a dead baby.
Oh.
Yeah, think about
It
that.
happens.
Think about that.
Yeah, it's double jeopardy though.
So,
They come back
yeah,
to life.
Think about that. So that's a challenge. That's more of a challenge to the readers than to the listeners. But if the listeners out there, especially you international listeners, have why?
What?
Why? All right.
Jeez.
If you international listeners have any suggestions for when a country should start over, like maybe if you execute your toy guy, that could be one of them.
I'm all for that though.
I know. That's true. So maybe if you, maybe that's a good qualification for why this country is pretty crazy. We execute people because they murder. So I like that point, Sean. I think the execute the douchey is a thing that we need to do.
I agree.
It's true.
That's a good thing. And let us take that now to
Either that or just get a football stadium together and just get every douchebag
that's good
together,
too.
take him to a football field and get a boot and just
And
kick him in the ass.
A boot. Yes, I like the national
Yeah.
boot. Mike,
Yeah.
that's
And
a very good idea.
And then you do a ticker tape parade after that.
And wait, what would they sing at the ticker tape parade?
Once the last douchebag has been kicked,
Oh,
we have won today. Oh, today.
At the ticker tape parade.
Wow.
Mike has a black face. When he's
That's
singing.
right.
Yeah, but, wow.
Training pennies from heaven.
You guys can't see
Wow.
Mike, but he's in a top hat and tails right now.
Yep.
Yep.
Put on the Ritz.
He's putting on the Ritz. Put on the Ritz. All right, guys. Danny, it is time for the aftermath. There we go.
There we go.
We
Oh,
planned that. We planned
Wow.
that. All right. Let's go around the table and get our last thoughts on the day's discussion. Mike, you go first, and I hope you give your answer through song.
Well, it's too serious to put through song. I think America is a great place because I think you can be like Mayor Viragosa and you can become mayor and do nothing.
Yeah.
Oh.
And be in a big political office and say you're going to do everything about traffic but never do anything. That's a great country when political leaders can rise and do nothing and people still support them.
Jeez, Mike.
When a mass sleeps all day, you know you're in the USA. All right. That's how I interpret that one. Mr. Carlos.
Alrighty. Okay, going back to that gay bomb thing.
Yep.
Now, I
Who
mean,
thought he wasn't gonna go there?
Yeah.
so there was a thing where, like, about the chemical or whatever exposes and anything like that.
Yeah.
But wouldn't let me ask you this: if all the people were gay and they started having sex or something like that,
Right.
wouldn't they create their own army? So what would be under a whole gay universe?
They could
world?
possibly fight even harder for each other because they're
Yeah.
banging.
Yeah.
I mean, it could have an adverse effect, unintended consequence.
I want a full report
On the gay bomb.
on the gay bomb.
I think
It should be front. It's like H bomb, atomic bomb, gay bomb. It should be like a massive investigation on this thing.
Don't you think it would just create a lot of confusion though? I mean, like think about it. Like let's say
It would
we're-
create something.
let's say the three of us were watching a game on TV and we accidentally got bombed, with the gay bomb. All of a sudden, we would all just start screwing. And don't you think that would be very confusing to us at the same time?
I think
That would still be better than if a normal conventional bomb
Yes.
fell on their
yeah,
heads.
I'd rather have the gay. It's weird to say that. I'd rather have a gay bomb fall on
Oh,
me than
then
a
you're
500
gay.
Yeah, but
pound.
think about
that doesn't make me gay. That
It
doesn't make
is.
me gay.
It does.
That does not make me gay.
think about the aftermath of that. I
Sick.
mean, how awkward would it be?
It'd be
every time
pretty
we'd see
awkward
each other.
because when that bomb wore off, you'd be like, I don't know.
Because that's true. There's one thing about being bombed to death. It's not awkward.
No,
It's the aftermath of it's not
exactly.
awkward.
It's very heterosexual.
Tragically
Right.
heterosexual.
If you were on a battlefield, you'd be hoping for that like cluster bomb rather than the gay bomb. I mean, yeah.
You don't want that awkward.
It's kind of just a weird thing if you got your best friend with you and you're in the foxhole.
I just find it weird that a bomb would just
Turn you gay.
turn you gay.
well, only for a short time though.
What,
Yeah.
what do you think the gay bomb looked like?
It probably
I
looked
think
like
if
a DVD case for the movie Picture Perfect.
Really?
Oh, wow.
No, I think it would
Wow.
have like
Hey.
I think it would have like rainbow kind of stuff on
That's
there.
nice. It's a nice
then,
bomb.
And then like I don't know, probably
And rainbows and unicorns
probably like
come out.
a glasses and a mustache.
I mean, the bomb would have a mustache.
I think Carlos just
Mustache.
described
No,
himself.
I think it
no,
is,
no, I have a mustache. Don't have a mustache, buddy.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't know. It's coming in
I
pretty
don't know.
pretty good right there.
Well, I don't know. What,
All right.
well, Sean was into a sync.
All right. So Carlos demands more information on that doesn't anything, anything to
He
do with
was.
anything. All right, Sean, your aftermath.
I would
All
like
right,
to.
Jamal.
All right.
All right, we'll go one at a time.
I'm gonna
Carlos,
do.
if you have another one, we can,
Carlos as Sean. What's my aftermath?
go ahead, do
Well,
Sean.
my aftermath is gonna be I love Neil Young
Yeah.
and then Bruce Springsteen
Mm-hmm.
and I bang women
Nice.
and
Way to cut me down.
Yeah, you really tore him a new one.
Yeah, what's bad
And-
about any of that?
and
It's
I'm
all good.
Carlos, did you get hit with a gay bomb?
no.
You look. Maybe you got hit with like a gay
Well,
bullet.
you're the one looking at me. What are you talking about?
Maybe a gay punch
No.
from a
You
hand-to-hand
wish.
combat.
You wish.
All right, Sean.
Well, I was gonna do my
I grew hair.
song.
I want to hear it.
All right, yeah, that's fine.
I would like Joe to write more columns about video games, cause it makes me feel smart when I chime in.
Video games from heaven, falling on us from heaven.
Yeah.
Nah.
And I guess that was a hard on him. Right?
That's a column I'd hit reset on every time.
We could do a whole series of podcasts on video games. I mean,
I thought you were
No
going to say
one would
lose
listen.
our audience. Honestly, I'm more excited about doing a whole series of columns on old timey singing than anything else. But I love video games too, and there will be more on video games. Too.
Yeah, and old people having sex.
And old people having sex. It's all good. So, all All right, thank you for joining us this week for the second column. Thank you to our international fans in Tokyo and in China and in Florida. Thank you.
And don't worry, we're going to drive around in a big van blasting this podcast in China.
That's right.
Just like in Pump Up the Volume.
That's right. So thanks a lot. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Good night.
That's all for this episode of The Second Column. For more information, go to joedonatelli.com.